Okay, excellent. So this is Cliff, Teacher Cliff, for my channel, as well as providing my great students, my great IELTS students, my answers for a general or generalized IELTS Part 3 questions. Even though you may hear these topics anywhere throughout the exam. So another caveat, another warning is know just the topic, right? Try to be knowledgeable about everything, but a master of nothing, right? So do not just concentrate on one topic. Try to learn as many words about everything so you can be as best prepared for your IELTS as possible. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe below to my coaching channel. So let's just jump right in it. IELTS Part 3, City and Countryside. So the first question, what are the advantages of living in the countryside? So this is another sound that many Asian languages do not practice. So it's out of practice and they're non-existent. So it is, again, the V sound. So advantages, and you can pull in your bottom lip into your teeth and then roll it and throw it out. So advantages of living in the countryside. So if you are stumped, you do not know the answer, just repeat it, right? So I think, these are think, and again, the TH sound, right? I think the advantages of living in the countryside are at least 3 reasons, rationales why you think that way, are cleaner air. I think sometimes the cities are overpolluted and congested. Better and healthier food. I think natural food that comes from, I believe it's called from produce or from farm to table. That's the English slang. So from farm to table are generally healthier because they are not processed. And countryside living provides more space for entertainment than living within a cramped city environment. 1, 2, 3. Okay, number 2. What are the disadvantages of living in the countryside? So, as opposed to the benefits that I just explained, I think some disadvantages of living in the countryside are that it can be boring because you do not have the same amount of people, the same type of excitement that you'd possibly do living in the city. The educational system may not be as readily available. You may have to shuttle or to even go to the city from the countryside and commute. And that also goes with working. Your boss may still demand, and an old way of thinking, that you are in the city and cannot work remotely. So then you are forced to make a longer commute to work from the countryside. Number 3, what kinds of people live in the countryside? You can be honest, right? I am not so sure. I am a city person or a city dweller. However, I have family who live in the countryside. I will say they are very good people. They care about their neighbors. They care about their community and society. I think they're stocky people because they have the ability to exercise more and quite possibly do greater and more daily activities, as I would think their lives can be more active, right? Because of all the things they put into working and into survival, they seem to be more fit as they exercise and do more activities. Okay. Number 4, what do people living in the countryside like to do? As I said, I'm more of a city person, but what I know is that they like to do more outdoor activities. That is an advantage or a benefit of living in the countryside, is to be more active and have more space to do what you like to do. Also, gardening. I think people like to do their own garden work, plant their own plants and flowers, as well as possibly farm, have some farmland too. Another interesting feature that you cannot do in the cities is possibly hunt. You can license a gun, a rifle to shoot animals, to kill and eat. So, that, of course, you definitely cannot do in the city. Question number 5: how has life changed over time in the countryside? Since I was younger and I've been visiting my family, I've seen the change over time, such as technology has creeped in. So they still have the internet now, more recently than we did in the city. I would say that the countryside also has gotten more industrialized. So the cities keep getting pushing out into the countryside, and now the countryside is expanding as well. And thirdly, I would say that food processing has even crept into countryside living. So even small farmers can now produce greater amounts of food. Number 6, do you think, right? Think it is better to live in the city or in the countryside, right? So this is a comparison question, but another think question, right? So in my opinion, I believe that city life can be more interesting. However, it is, I would say, more unhealthy than countryside. But I am a city kid. I grew up in the city. I like to have daily action. I like to eat different foods from around the world and meet and see interesting things and people. Okay. Number 8, Bob. Do you think landmarks make a city more famous? Why? Another think question, right? Another think. So I think landmarks can make a city more famous. I come from Chicago, that has the big new bean, as well as many other statues of interest, as well as Van Gogh's famous statues, or I'm sorry, Picasso's, the Spaniard, Picasso's famous metal structured statues that people come from all around the world to take their pictures with. Number 9, what interesting things can we do in big cities? Yes, as I said, I am more of a city person, so I truly enjoy city life. There are many parks, there are many zoos, there are many museums, many theaters, and of course, many different types of restaurants to eat. Okay, number 10. What's the difference, right, between living in the city and in the countryside, right? Compare, contrast, I think. So I think, repeat the question, I think the difference between living in the city and in the countryside are enormous. One not only gets more space, I think the health quality is better for one's own body and one's own health system. I think possibly the food can be better. Conversely, alternatively, oppositely, right on the other side, yin yang, I think the city can provide greater education, uh, more fun and exciting entertainment, as well as restaurants, different varieties of international foods. Okay, hopefully this all helped you on your IELTS journey, and I will follow up with some more IELTS Part 3 answers. Please review my website, my coaching channel for others too. Okay, thank you very much. All right.